Okay, Haribol, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to give you some really interesting information. I was listening to Srila Prabhupada's lecture yesterday in the US University, and he was talking about many topics, but one thing that came up was very interesting. He said there's 2 steps to achieve liberation. So, 2 steps to achieve liberation. Any guesses? He simplified it down. He said, of all the senses, the tongue is considered like the king, or the hardest to control also. That's why when we take prasad, we say, Saryada Vijajal Jivendriya Tehikal. This tongue is very difficult to control. He said if we can learn to control the tongue, then we can get liberated. So there's 2 aspects of that. And Rupa Goswami talks about that in the first verse of Upadeshamrita. You may know her. Vacha Vegam Manasa Krodha Vega Jiva Vegam Udara. Alright? So the urge to speak and also to hear mundane topics and the urge to eat mundane things, this is what binds us in this world. So he said, if you want liberation, there's 2 steps. The first step is control the tongue by only eating Krishna Prasad. In the Gita, Krishna says very clearly that when you take things that are not offered to him and fit to offer to him, then it leads to sin. Right? There's a verse. Bunjate te tvagam papa ye pachantatma karanat. If you take things for your own sense gratification without offering them in yagya, then this is sin. And because of sin, then you'll be forced to continue to transmigrate in samsara. So first thing to do is control your tongue by only taking Krishna Prasad. That means you should prepare everything that is accepted by Krishna. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Krishna is shown by acharyas. We follow what the acharyas teach, what Krishna likes to eat. In Braj, we hear many descriptions of what Yashoda cooks, what Radharani cooks. In Chaitanya Charitamrita by Mahaprabhu, we hear many descriptions of what they would cook. This includes milk products like paneer, yogurt, butter. Every day Krishna is stealing butter. The hearts of his devotees are like butter. So he goes everywhere in Braj and steals butter. So the idea is we don't become liberated by being vegetarian or by being vegan. We be liberated by taking Krishna Prasad. So people who get attached to different isms, vegetarianism, veganism, this ism, that ism, this is one kind of illusion, maya. But taking Krishna Prasad means whatever Krishna likes to take, prepare it nicely in a pure way and offer it, and then take Krishna's remnants, and then this will give you liberation. So there's a verse in the Vedas that Ahar Sude Sattva Sude. By taking pure foodstuffs, your existence becomes purified. Your mind becomes pure, and then you can very easily become liberated. So that's a very important step. Ahar Shuddhe. Some people say, okay, anything I offer becomes prasad. But there's a procedure to offer. Mahaprabhu made a very difficult... Leave it. Yeah? क्या चाहिए? बाथरूम चेक करना है. नहीं अभी नहीं. 5 minutes बाद. All right, so there's a what was I saying? What was I saying? Okay, yeah, this is important. Some people think, oh, yeah, just take anything and offer it as prasad. So Mahaprabhu gave a very important instruction. He said, if you want me to accept what you offer, every day you have to chant 64 rounds. Because then you'll be in pure consciousness and properly situated into devotion, bhakti, and then I'll accept what you offer. Otherwise, I won't accept impure things. So Mahaprabhu set that standard. Chant 1 lakh Harinam every day, and then what you offer will become prasad, and then I'll accept it, and then when you take it, this will give you liberation. Mahaprasade Govinde. Mahaprasad is extremely purifying. Krishna says in the Gita, Prasade sarvadukanam hanirasyopajayate. By taking prasad, all kinds of misery are extinguished, destroyed, and you become very happy. So Mahaprasad is very important. But how to offer prasad? So also, in Kali Yuga, Kalir Dosa Nidhi Rajan, everything is full of faults. It's very hard to find things that are completely pure. People say, okay, milk products are full of harm to the cows. So that's why we say the best thing is try to get a hingsa dairy. Take milk from cows who are properly protected. In the West, it's very difficult to find. When I was growing up, we had 4 or 5 cows, and we cared for them very nicely with so much love. They had about 12 acres of pasture to graze on. And for 5 years, 1 cow, Kunti, she gave milk. And they were very loved by the family. So, but in the city life, it's hard to do that. So you can try to find some ahimsa dairy. But anyhow, in Kali Yuga, everything is full of faults. So the only redeeming quality in Kali Yuga is the holy names and kirtan. So that's why Mahaprabhu said, chant the holy names and perform kirtan. So this is going along with the second step to get liberation. Prabhupada says the second step to liberation is engage the tongue in Krishna kirtan and don't hear things which are asat kata. Okay, so engage the tongue in chanting the holy names and speaking about Krishna. Bolo Krishna, Bhaja Krishna, Koro Krishna, Shiksha. Mahaprabhu taught this. Speak about Krishna, worship Krishna, and hear the teachings of Krishna. So this is called, then you can become fully purified. And then what you offer becomes also pure. But when you cook, you should be in a pure state. You shouldn't be contaminated. There are many rules and regulations about this we can talk about future. But in general, if you offer, Krishna says, with love and devotion, whatever you offer to me, I will accept. But he doesn't offer, meat and things like that. Krishna won't take these things. Even the different scriptures say the Lord will not accept burnt offerings of flesh. So the main thing is, in Krishna consciousness, the first thing is no meat eating, no eggs. And also there's other things that are in the mode of ignorance, tamagun, garlic, onion, these types of things. These keep us in a very low consciousness. And Krishna doesn't accept these things. So we cannot take Krishna prasad. Oh, I offered this beef and now it's Krishna prasad. Krishna never accepts it. He's Gopal, not Gohatya. Gopal means the protector of the cows. And Hatya means to kill. So Krishna said that if you kill a cow, as many hairs are on the body of the cow, that many lives you'll have to yourself be reborn and slaughtered and suffer. So it's considered to be equal to killing a Brahmin or your guru. It's a very fearsome, sinful activity. So we offer Krishna pure things in a pure consciousness. And it said, if you do it proper offering, then at every stage of the offering, that is the same as Brahman. There's a verse in the Gita that says the offering, the yagya is the Brahma, the collection of the ingredients is Brahma, the distribution is Brahma. Everything becomes para Brahma, supremely pure things. It's called Anamaya Brahma. The foodstuffs themselves become transcendentalized, or Brahma. In the Vedas, there's 5 kinds of Brahma, right? Anamaya Brahma, and all these other ones that we'll talk about in another video. But the idea is that if you properly prepare and offer it to Krishna and then accept it, then this spiritualizes you from within. And then the second one is speaking about Krishna. Asad Varta means material kind of topics. And it keeps you very attached to material life. That's why Das Goswami says in Manashiksha that Asat Chesta, don't engage in material kind of pursuits that are bound in matter. And Asad Varta Veshya Vishradamati Sarvasvaharani. He said, absorption in material topics is like a prostitute that steals all of your wealth. If you're very attached to a prostitute and you go back and back and back to her, then she'll keep increasing her price, and eventually you'll become completely impoverished. You'll become a pauper, a beggar. So being absorbed and attached to material topics means that you're letting all your spiritual wealth be plundered by the mundane prostitute of worldly topics. So attachment to mundane news, attachment to mundane things like movies and novels, all of these things are saturated throughout with absorption in material life. How many Hollywood movies you see that are talking about developing love for God? And how many you see that are talking about, some material activity? Sex, drugs, rock and roll, This is the thing that keeps us bound in this world. So that's why Prabhupada said this, that if you want liberation, 2 steps are required. Take Krishna Prasad, which means chant Harinam, offer it properly, take only Krishna Prasad, don't take other things, because that lowers your consciousness immediately. And speak about Krishna and hear about Krishna. Bolo Krishna, Bhaja Krishna, Koro Krishna, Shiksha. Asad Varta Vesha, give up this prostitute of mundane talk. And if you have to interact with, we see Vaishnavas who are preaching, they have to interact with mundane topics. But they always bring the Krishna conscious perspective to it. And that way it helps other people become uplifted also. Because if they're not yet on that platform, then you have to extend a hand or extend a ladder or a rope down. So we have to sometimes talk about these things to build some kind of a rapport so that people feel like we're not just aloof from material society completely. But ultimately, devotees are always thinking about Krishna. Even when Param Gurudev, he's an example in Param Gurudev's biography and also Gurudev's biography, that many kind of judges and lawyers and other people, doctors, would come and meet with him and talk about material issues. And he would remain silent. He would listen for some time, but at the end, he would give them some sweet instruction about bhakti. Generally, people who are attached to material life, they love to talk about material things, politics and this and that. But this doesn't help us progress in Krishna consciousness. You say, okay, let's discuss Bhagavatam. They don't want to talk about it. They're not interested. So get rid of Prajalpa and take Krishna Prasad, 2 steps to liberation. Okay? We'll stop it. Okay, we'll just do one more.
Radha, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our channel down there. Share with your friends. Ask a question in the comments. And check out our website, kripa.tv, for courses, to support us, and for our articles and more. Haribol.